Continue for
if it was on as revenue, I marked it on the box. I was sitting there going, no, it's self-tax, self-tax. What? Very happy that when Mac doesn't make it, it's not on the list that you guys approved, so we need to update the list.
I'm looking for it. 18 on consent. Because we can rescind it. So I would think it's the same as rescinding it. I don't know if we need to take a different action. I'm a little nervous that might be the case. I haven't seen it.
Hello. Hello.
Okay.
Hello. Hello. Testing. Hello.
Commissioner, can you hear us?
Now I can hear you. Can you
Oh,
hear
okay.
me?
Very good. Yes, we can hear you. All right. Welcome this morning. Oh, let's see. Let's make sure that we're recording. Okay, we are now recording. So thank you and welcome this morning. First meeting that we have is a Board of Equalizations meeting. We have 9 items on our agenda. The first one is to approve the Board of Equalization Assessors approved review process report. Any questions on that one?
Nope.
Motion to be in order.
Move we approve regular agenda item number 1.
Second.
We got a motion and a second to approve agenda item number 1. All in favor say aye.
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 That passes 3-0. Number 2 is to approve the Board of Equalization hearing process report. Any questions there?
Nope. Move that we approve regular agenda item number 2.
Second.
We had a motion and a second to approve agenda item number 2. Number 3 is to approve or deny. Pardon me?
We need to vote,
Oh, did we not vote on that last one? Oh.
unless I missed.
All in favor of approving number 2, say aye.
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 Thank you. I was skipping right along.
We're
Okay,
trying
that
to
was
be
approved
fast.
3-0. Thanks for catching that. Number 3 is to approve or deny a petition of Board of Equalization for a hearing appeal of a property valuation after the filing deadline.
For Harvey, Utah County Clerk Auditor's Office and Tax Administration, reviewing this petition, we didn't find any kind of process question or factual error that's in place. So the petition would have to be decided and approved or denied based on the merits of the petition itself.
Yep, and I didn't find any either. I'd recommend that we deny.
Yeah. I'd move that we I'll move that we deny regular agenda item number 3.
Second.
Get a motion and a second to deny item number 3. All in favor say aye.
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 That is denied with a 3-0 vote. Number 4 is to approve or deny a petition of the Board of Equalization for a hearing.
Okay, this is one where we didn't find any. Well, I guess there's kind of a process question in play with this one. The question, the petition states that the petitioner attempted or did contact or did send in some information to the clerk auditor's office, attempting to appeal their petition. I can't find any record of that communication. I can't find anything in my email or paper. Of course, we get a lot of applications there at the end, so it's not outside the realm of possibility that something could get misplaced or lost or shuffled in with all the other papers. But I can't find any kind of information to back this up, and they didn't provide any additional information other than what's been provided to the board. So again, this would be up to the board to decide if this is merited enough to approve or deny.
In looking through this too, I read through there, and there stated a lot of stuff in there. I'm just wondering if we could continue this for 2 weeks to give them an opportunity to say, here was the information, and have some proof to it.
Yeah, we could
That
reach
would be
out. We could reach out to the petitioner and ask them to see if they can provide any additional information or any kind of validation of that they attempted to file. Or
And if there's
copy.
not, then it makes it easier for us.
Yeah.
Easy for us.
Absolutely.
Okay, I'll move that we continue regular agenda item number 4 for 2 weeks.
I will second that. I'll just make the comment that, yes, I think this is what we're basically saying, is that there's a denial here unless they can actually show
Exactly.
that, if there was some correspondence that would suggest that they thought that was basically filing appeal or some back and forth with the county, then I would be very open to extending this deadline. But so, second.
Okay, I got a motion and a second to continue item number 4 for 2 weeks. All in favor say aye.
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 That is continued for 2 weeks. Number 5 is to approve or deny a petition, the Board of Equalization for a hearing appeal.
Okay, and this one, the petitioner stated they never got the valuation notice. It does show that when the petitioner came in and filed the petition and the appeal application on the same day, they changed their address with the treasurer's office. Before that, we mailed both the tax notice and the valuation notice for several years to the same address, which is the address of record at the time, which of course is what the state statute requires. So not really question of process here. It shows that the county was compliant with the notice requirements outlined by state law. So again, that's up to the board to decide if this is would fall into that merit category of being approved or denied.
And I didn't see any extraordinary circumstances, so I would agree with, or I would propose that we deny.
I concur. Motion to deny regular agenda item number 5.
Second.
And a motion and a second to deny the petition, as stated, number 5. All in favor say aye.
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 That's a 3-0 for the denial. Number 6 is to approve or deny a petition to the Board of Equalization for a hearing process as stated in number 6.
Okay, again, there's no process question here. The owner stated that they were simply out of the area, was not at the time the notice came, and they were a first-year property owner, and so weren't aware of the deadlines. Certainly understand that, but again, this is not a question of process or denial of due process or a factual error. So this goes back to the merits of the petitioner themselves to whether the board would approve or deny that. So
Okay, I'd recommend a denial on that
Let's see.
personally.
I'll move that we deny regular agenda item number 6.
Second?
We got a motion and a second to deny agenda item number 6. All in favor say aye.
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 That is denied with a 3-0 vote. Number 7 is to approve or deny a petition of Board of Equalization to hear the appeal of property valuation, as stated.
okay, again, let me actually pull up the appeal file here real quick. I have the notice history just so I have what their okay, the petitioner, mainly the crux of their petition is that they didn't receive the valuation notice. Their petition mostly dealt with why they felt the value was incorrect. And again, according to the notice history, going back to I think I included it. Yeah, I just want to make sure I did. I did include, going back to the warranty deed that was recorded on December 10th in 2018. You see that both the valuation notice and the tax notice were mailed to the address or record at that was recorded on the deed. This property was sold in 2018, so there was a change of ownership. But we did send both the tax notice and the valuation notice to the same place. Neither the tax notice nor the valuation notice at the time of this printing was recorded as undeliverable. Doesn't necessarily mean that it couldn't come back, but so far we have no evidence that the mailing was not completed. So I'm not sure there's a process question here again.
Okay.
I'll move that we deny regular agenda item number 7.
Second?
A motion and a second to deny agenda item number 7. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Is there an approved? I didn't hear the third. Did you hear the third? Did you say aye, Commissioner Ainge?
Sorry, I was on mute. Yes, aye.
Okay. All right, that is denied 3-0. Oops. Okay, number 8 is to approve or deny petition of the Board of Equalization to hear the appeal of property valuation.
Okay. Again, this is the petitioner is mostly talking about failure to receive the notice. Again, the notice history we provided shows that both this year's 2019's warranty deed and 2019 valuation notice and tax notice were mailed to the same address. That property address was updated in March of 2019. That is based on the warranty deed that was recorded in March. Was that March or was that, December? It was based on the warranty deed that was recorded in December. So, the record that we have shows that was the address, and that's the address it was mailed to.
So this one, I do see extra circumstances that are happening, and it just so happens that I live in that area. He does talk about Canyon Road being tore up to the point where the post office didn't even come to deliver the mail, and that's, to me, that's interesting, because that area where he is at was tore up for a long time. It was dirt roads and blocked off, and so I think there are some circumstances. He's claiming that they weren't getting the mail. They were trying to get it to come to his office instead because they were missing a lot of mail. They didn't know where it was at, and so I'm just taking his word that they probably did never receive that mail for some reason.
Well, and like I said, from our side, there's not really a process question.
Not.
Yeah. So it would go back to the merits, and if this would fall to where there's probably no medical circumstance or other,
There's not.
you know, it
That's
would be
correct.
it would be extraordinary things, extraordinary or extenuating circumstance. And so
There were 10 months of that, at least, with that road tour up there. I mean, we had to go around and around because you couldn't go through that area. So I would recommend that we approve this one.
Move to approve regular agenda item number 8.
Sorry, Bert, can I just ask one question?
Go right ahead, sure.
In the comments on the agenda system, notice history shows that warranty deed was recorded after the valuation notices were printed.
Which one are you?
You're on the next one.
Oh,
That's
okay, sorry.
Yeah.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that one, Commissioner. You're just working ahead here.
Okay, I will second Nathan's motion.
I have a motion and a second to approve agenda item number 8. All in favor, say aye.
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 That is approved. 3-0. Number 9.
Okay. All right, and number 9, as Commissioner H has already pointed out, the comment on this, there, again, this is one of those process situations that does happen, and it's not necessarily historically the tax commission does not necessarily recognize this as a failure of the county to notice on time, but this is one where the property was sold and purchased, and the warranty deed was recorded on July 12th. So prior to when the valuation notices go out, but after when the valuation notices are printed. Now, the other thing, of course, here is that when the deed is recorded, it doesn't automatically go into the system. Of course, the recorder's office is usually 3 to 4 weeks before that deed actually gets applied. The record gets changed. So even with that, it's not likely that even if they had immediately made that change to the record, the notices had already been printed and already been starting to be printed by that point, because we have to draw a line in the sand. It takes several days, obviously, to print all the notices. So in this case, in terms of the process, the deed was recorded after the notices were printed, after the point when an address update could be made, and so therefore, in this case, no, the valuation notice never would have gotten to the new owner because they bought their home and had the deed recorded in the time frame in between the printing of the valuation notice and the printing of the tax notice.
Right.
And that's the process. That is the difficulty that we all work with. Whether that necessarily falls into an extraordinary or unanticipated circumstance, that's up to the board. I do know that there, like as I've mentioned, there have been times this has been appealed to the state tax commission, and the tax commission is generally sided with the county in these cases unless they can show another area of what's the word I'm looking for, denial of due process. So, but with that, it's really back to the merit and back to the board to decide.
As I've looked down through it, I would recommend that we approve it based on the confusion there and the circumstances that you outlined.
I'll move that we approve regular agenda item number 9.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to approve agenda item number 9. All in favor, say aye.
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 That passes 3-0.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
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 We're now adjourned from that meeting. We'll pause just for a second as we switch the recordings. Move to our commission agenda. Okay. Welcome this morning to our Board of County Commissioner meeting, and thank you for being here. We do, as always, we start with a prayer, reading, or a thought, and having somebody lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. And we typically look to the audience for any volunteers who would like to participate with us in doing the prayer, reading, a thought, or leading us in the pledge. Are there any individuals who would like to do that? Seeing none this morning.
I'll do the prayer.
Prayer? All right, I'll lead us in the pledge.
Our beloved Heavenly Father, we humbly come before Thee at the beginning of this civil proceeding to invoke and ask Thy blessings to watch over it. We give thee thanks for the opportunity to live in a free land where we might peacefully assemble to go about the workings of governing the people's business and recognize thy hand in directing this great nation and in bestowing upon us these gifts of freedom and liberty. As we make decisions today, we ask that our minds might be keen and sharp and enlightened, that we might do so mindful of the people whose lives are affected by such, and that we can make decisions that protect their rights and their opportunities to pursue their dreams. We again express gratitude for the many blessings we have been given and for the richness in which we abide. And we offer this prayer humbly in the name of our Savior, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. If you would, and if you can, would you please stand to recite the pledge for one nation under God?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you. We do have the Employee of the Month, and we're going to do it just a little bit different. We're going to have Josh come up and read it. Read the what would you call this? It's not really the line,
recognition.
the recognition. There we go. Go ahead.
Thank you, Commissioners. Good morning. Josh Daniels from the Clerk Auditor's Office. Our office has participated with some other departments in nominating the Employee of the Month this month. And our elected clerk auditor, Amelia Powers Gardner, made as a major priority of coming into office this year the modernization, updating, and digitization of many of the services that the clerk's office provides to the public. And that type of innovation would not be possible without the work of some very important people on our team. And so this month, we're happy to announce that the Employee of the Month is Mike Perry from the IT department. Let me read a few of the things that we and others have written about him. So this month actually marks the first month, as far as we can tell in state history, that a member of the public who would like to get married, which there's lots of situated couples in Utah County, can completely do that process online from their home, saving lots of time from them having to come here to the office, time on the road, gas, money, etc. Couples who are seeking to get married can now just hang out. They're usually hanging out, I'm sure, if they're engaged, and they can sit down and they can fill out their entire marriage license application online using their smartphone. They can verify their identity using some technology that Mike helped integrate, and they can pay for their marriage license and have their marriage license digitally issued to them. They never have to come into our office, and all of that is thanks to the labor of Mike Perry. So, during this past several months, he and his teammates in IT, and there's a lot of others that I'm sure participated, have developed this mobile-friendly web application from scratch, and it's going to significantly increase the efficiency of our office and of what we do in the county. It's quite a revolutionary system. There's still some elements of that system that are being designed that will probably make it a one-of-a-kind system in the world. And we anticipate just a lot more efficiency and additional applicants coming to Utah County specifically for their marriage license. Let me read some comments from some of Mike's colleagues in IT as well. As the programming manager, Jerry writes, "I'm so grateful to have all the new innovations Mike has brought to our programming team. Who would have thought we would be using facial recognition? Not a problem for Mike and his team. Mike has greatly exceeded our expectations with his brilliant programming abilities and solutions. Not a day goes by where Mike is not helping another team member or doing pair programming with a team member. Mike is always there to accept the challenge of solving complicated programming. Not only solving the problems, but being very detailed and analytical in achieving the programming solution. He does all of this and still maintains a very positive, helpful, considerate attitude. He's a team player and very humble. He's more than qualified to receive this recognition." The IT director writes that Mike is an essential asset to the IT programming staff. He's really, really smart, and he's also very humble, prefers to not draw attention to himself or his accomplishments. His approach to challenges is very analytical. He considers a wide array of options before jumping to conclusions. However, he's also fearless at trying new approaches and new avenues to find better solutions. These qualities are quite rare. Utah County is a grateful benefactor of Mike's unique qualities and upstanding character. And I have to tell you, our department couldn't agree more with Mike's efforts and really a lot of great efforts by many in IT. So it's my pleasure to nominate and recognize Mike Perry.
Mike, you get a chance to speak.
Oh. I'm terribly introverted at times, so excuse me if I don't know what to say or appear nervous. But I just thanks IT guys and gals. I appreciate it. Thanks for the kind words. Had no idea this was happening. They told me they had questions about a product that we were integrating.
That's
and
how
I'm
it
like,
always goes. That should be the key words from now on, right? We have questions and commission meeting about stuff. Show up.
It's good cover. So, thank you. Thanks a lot.
Okay. We've got some stuff for you.
Thanks.
Ready, break. Okay. We will now build our agenda. We'll place all the items on our agenda, both the published consent and published regular agenda items on to either be ratified, approved, or adopted as stated in the agenda, and then we'll pull items off for further discussion. Going to our published consent agenda, if we could hold number 3. It's been asked that we continue item number 11 for 2 weeks.
Mr. Chair, I'll maybe just hold number 5 for a brief comment.
Number 5, okay. Number 16. If we could, it's been recommended that we strike number 18. And then moving to our regular agenda, it's been requested that we strike number 1. If we could hold number 2. Number 4. Any others?
Sorry, Commissioner. When I see number 4 as a closed meeting item.
Oh, I'm sorry. I have that circled as a one that we need.
We need, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very good. Thank you. Okay. Any others? See none. Number 3. So the only question, I tried to read through kind of the emails, the multiple emails
There was a
on
lot
this,
there.
and I know that there was, you had a number of vendors looking at this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7, I guess, and their price ranges were all over from $55,000 down. Number two was selected, and and yet it was $6,000 higher than the lowest bid. And if I'm reading it right, it's because of springs. Is that mainly the difference? And
Yeah, Robert Johnson. I'm with BDAPT. Yeah, there was a couple things. The springs were one. The other one was a solid frame, and we just felt like the springs would be a little bit more comfortable. Seems like there was another item in there too. I can't remember exactly. But there was another item that we picked American Bedding over the other one.
okay, all right.
Oh, it was the mattresses. That's what it
The
was.
mattresses too.
Yeah, they
okay.
were completely sealed, so that no chance of bed bugs.
It's a good thing.
Yeah.
Okay, that was the question. I just wanted to point out that it's not the lowest, but on a quality basis, I think
Right.
that as you reviewed it, and I can't say here or there, one way or the other on it.
Yeah.
I just wanted to point that out. That was kind of the reason for a quality purpose. Okay,
I'll move that we approve consent agenda item number 3.
Second?
and that's with picking American Bedding
Awarding
contract,
American
awarding it, yeah.
Bedding Manufacturing, yep.
Okay, I've got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 That passes 3-0. Number 5.
I just wanted to comment on this. I think that the great part about this agenda item, creating this resolution, is that we're doing this, we're putting this into place, which creates our committee that's going to make sure that we go through and we have a long-term capital improvement plan, and that we are funding that capital improvement plan. And we passed that policy earlier this year through consultation with our financial advisor and with our clerk auditor's department, and I'm grateful for all of the work to get this done. I'm glad we can create the committee. The negative side of this is it demonstrates that we're just now creating a committee to create a capital improvement plan. And that perhaps gives some indication of where we are, which is we're behind on our capital spending. And I think this is important for us to keep in mind when we talk about tax policy. I think all of us are very frustrated with the possibility of a very, very significant, on a percentage basis, property tax increase coming from the county. And you don't get to that point ever if you address the needs of the county when they come up and when you're aware of them. And it's unfair to the future taxpayers to place that burden on them if we defer maintenance needs or capital needs that we know about and we don't act on. And unfortunately, that is the situation that we're in. So I look forward to this committee coming together, because what this will enable us to do is we're going to solve this now, but more importantly, in the future, this is not going to be kicked down the road or passed on to some future large burden that's going to be placed on some future group of taxpayers, but we're going to make sure that we're covering the expenses of our county and planning for our county as we go. And so from my perspective, that's why this is going into place and why this is a good thing to vote for.
Okay, a motion to be in order.
I'll move that I'll move that we approve consent agenda item number 5.
Second.
I got a motion and a second to approve the resolution as stated, number 5. All in favor, say aye.
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 That passes 3-0. Number 11 was continued for 2 weeks. Number 16. So number 16 is to accept a donation of funds from the Utah Sheriff's Association and authorize payment of the donations to Nicholas Company for supplied food products. Question, I don't know who's going to address this. One of the questions I had was, why didn't the Utah Sheriff's Association just go straight to the Nicholas Food
So
Company?
we did ask them to, and they didn't make out the check to them. They made it out to us, so we're just proceeding and getting that invoice paid, so.
Okay.
yeah, it was asked of them to go ahead and pay Nicholas for that, and in return, they sent us a check, and so we're just going through the motions now to get it paid, so.
So it has nothing to do with using the credit or the,
No.
of the county?
No, it was just an
or the-
error on their part or communication, I'm
Okay.
not exactly sure, but yeah.
Okay, all right, fair enough, thank you.
I'll move that we approve consent agenda item number 16 by the accepting of donation of funds from the Utah Sheriff's Association, authorized payment of the donation to Nicholas Company for supplied food products.
So, I'm sorry. I actually am trying to understand what's happening. Can this just be explained? Can someone just explain the transactions that occurred and what we're approving?
So I can try unless you'd like to. So it sounds like to me that, I don't know where the food went. I'm sure it went for some event. And the Utah Sheriff's Association wanted to purchase this food from Nicholas Company. And in doing so, they just wrote the check out to the sheriff, to Utah County Sheriff. And so instead of to Nicholas Food Company. So we have to accept the donation, and then they'll turn right around and pay it off.
Got it. That's the part of it that I was missing. I was looking at the invoice from the food, so and I thought it was like an in-kind donation. We're accepting a cash donation from the association
Yes.
Right.
and then paying this amount. Okay.
I'm paying.
So my only kind of, it's not really fair, not in this case, but is that, we shouldn't be using, if there was a case where we're using the credit or the, I don't even know the words for it, the pricing structure that the county has, that can't be lent to somebody else outside of the county. But in this case, it looks like, from what I'm hearing, it was just that they weren't doing that. They had their own pricing structure, and they just wrote the check the wrong way. So we have to accept it as a donation so we can pay it off. Is that fair? Okay.
Okay. I second Commissioner Ivy's motion.
Okay, I got a motion and a second to accept the donation funds from the Utah Sheriff's Association. All in favor, say aye.
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 That passes 3-0. Oops, turned over the wrong way. Okay, we struck number 1. Number 2 is to approve and authorize the signing of an agreement with Marvelous Catering. And I guess my question is that, are we gonna stay below the limits for bidding purposes on this? That was my first kind of initial wondering.
Ralph Clegg with the Health Department. I think, we certainly would, before we would utilize Marvelous Catering, and my understanding is, I don't think Ben is here from the attorney's office because was expecting a new baby yesterday, and hopefully that all went well for him and his wife. But I think the purpose of this was so that anybody in the county could actually use Marvelous Catering. Again, you'd still go out to get the bids that you can get. We've used Marvelous Catering in many cases in the past throughout the county, very successfully. But yeah, you'd still be looking for the best price you can get for what you're offering. This, for us, this is in terms of our senior services. They're looking to use Marvelous Catering. It's very generic agreement, as you've probably noticed, and just kind of covers things. So. Again, we'd still be looking for a purchase order before we would use
Right.
approval before we would use Marvelous Catering.
So if we use it on a county basis, and I think our policy states that in a year's period of time, if we go over that with a certain vendor, that we should have that it triggers the, competitive process. So that's my worry is that I wonder why can't we just do this on an as-needed basis? Is there a reason why?
I'm sure we could do it that way too, and just say, okay, each time before we would use them, we would have an agreement like this. I think Ben was just trying to make it easier for anybody to use Marvelous Catering if they'd like to. Given this is a new type of agreement from Marvelous Catering, I don't know, Sherry, has this been used in the past, this type of agreement? It's a new agreement for their corporate accounts.
Commissioner Lee, if I'm understanding what Ralph is saying, it's almost as if, because I hear your point loud and clear, we need to make sure that we're following our purchasing, but if we are not committing to buy anything at this point, and we're not committing to any pricing, then this is almost just putting in place as a convenience. And, you know, for example, this could be done with multiple catering and just have an MSA on file so that each time we want to buy something, we can get a price quote. And that's really what needs to be reviewed for purchasing threshold, not this contract, which has no commitment from us.
But I do see your point, Commissioner Lee, that, you know, if several were to use this in order to go over the threshold, that would be an issue. I think that's something that'd have to be tracked by the purchasing folks.
Yeah, that's my, because I hear from, on the purchasing side, you know, a lot of times, and it can be any vendor, and they're purchased throughout the year. So, I mean, in essence, we're giving this vendor a sort of preferred status? Is that what it is?
I don't know that it's preferred status. It's just creating the conditions where we can utilize them as we would over a year's period of time.
So I guess to tie it, I don't understand the difference between entering into this agreement or doing it on an individual basis. What's the difference? Do we get a price difference if we
I don't
do
think
this?
there's any difference in prices. I think this is just what they're using as their agreement for corporate accounts, which they would consider Utah County to be a corporate account.
Oh.
I don't know if Robert's here from the purchasing office or Tad. Maybe they could comment on your particular concern, which you know, has some validity, I think.
Robert Baxter, purchasing. I don't have a lot of the details on this, but my understanding was that Marvelous Catering was like the approved caterer for the state, and that's what we're trying to get in on. I mean, I understand your concern that if we do have a contract with them, that could give the impression that, oh, we have a you know, a contract that of terms and conditions and prices, and overlook the need to do a competitive bid on it. But it is something that we can be aware of, that if it does, you know, cross that $2,500 threshold, that they need to get competitive bids.
So you just watch that during the year, and once we get close to it, then it would change, or how would that happen?
There isn't really a cumulative, the way the purchasing rules read, there's not a cumulative amount. But if it is foreseen, we know that it's going to be over a certain amount, and then we would have to use that process. I mean, if we knew today that it was going to be $10,000, then we should, you know, do the competitive bids for that. But if it's, you know, a few $100s here, a few $100s there, and we don't know how much it is, then the cumulative amount wouldn't really apply.
Okay.
I mean, Robert, wouldn't this be comparable to simply paying a membership fee at Sam's Club or entering into some sort of an agreement with Amazon that allows for purchasing? That doesn't mean that we're committing to anything. It doesn't, and each individual purchase thereunder will still be subject to our purchasing approvals.
That's my understanding of it, yes.
There are some benefits to the membership. Okay.
Okay, I'll move that we approve regular agenda item number 2.
Second.
And a motion and a second to approve agenda item number 2. All in favor say aye.
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 That passes 3-0. Number, I still have 4 circled there. That's it. So on our closed meetings, the only one that I have circled that we need is number 4.
Move that we strike regular agenda items numbers 5, 6, and 7.
Second.
And a motion and a second to strike agenda items number 5, 6, and 7. All in favor say aye.
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 That passes 3-0.
I'll move that we approve and set a date, time, and location for a closed meeting as described in regular agenda item number 4 for today's date, immediately following the completion of this, our regular business.
Second.
And a motion and a second to approve and set a date, time, and location as stated number 4 on our regular agenda. All in favor, say aye.
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 We have no work session items. Is there any public comment? Seeing none, we'll go into our closed meetings. Thank you.